Okay, so there's this really critical vulnerability making the rounds called React2Shell. And if you're using Next.js, well, you've got to pay attention to this one. We're going to break down exactly what it is and, more importantly, how to fix it. And we'll do it using a simple analogy that'll make everything just click. So let's dive right in.
All right, so to really get our heads around how this whole thing works, we're not going to start with lines of code. Nope, we're starting with a restaurant. Yeah, you heard that right. Just imagine your website is a restaurant. This is going to be our main idea here. Every single piece of the security puzzle, the attacker, the server, all that technical stuff, it all maps perfectly to what happens in a normal restaurant. So let's meet the players.
First up, you've got the kitchen. Now, in our little analogy, the kitchen is your server. It's the back end, the place where all the real work gets done. Pages are built, data gets processed. It's all the heavy lifting, and it's happening completely out of sight from the customer. And of course, what's a restaurant without a customer, right? Well, that's anyone who visits your website. They come in, they order a page just by clicking a link, and they have absolutely no idea what's going on back in that kitchen. They don't care. They just want their meal, their web page delivered. So the big question is, how does that order even get to the kitchen? Well, it gets there in this special delivery box. In the real techie world of React, this is a system actually called Flight, and its whole job is to carry instructions from the user straight to the server. Simple stuff like, hey, build this part of the page, or go get this data. This is the normal everyday process. Okay, so picture it. Our restaurant is humming along just fine. Customers are ordering, the delivery boxes are zipping back and forth with instructions, the kitchen's cooking up a storm. Everything's great. But what happens when someone decides to throw a wrench in the works? So on one side, you've got your normal box. It's got standard, boring instructions for the kitchen. But on the other side, that's where things get nasty. An attacker creates this, let's call it a tricky box. And the instructions inside, oh, they're not for making a web page. They're designed to go in and completely rewrite the kitchen's rulebook. And this is where we hit our first big technical term, prototype pollution. So in JavaScript, basically everything inherits from something called a prototype. Just think of it like the kitchen's master recipe book, right? The one with all the basic rules. Well, prototype pollution is when an attacker uses one of those tricky boxes to sneak a malicious ingredient, let's just call it poison, into that master recipe. And now every single dish that comes out of that kitchen is tainted. The very foundation of how the kitchen works is corrupted. And this is the whole point of the attack. It's called a remote code execution. Once those master recipes are poisoned, the attacker can send in a brand new instruction. And the kitchen, it just does it. No questions asked. The attacker is now the head chef. They can tell the server to do anything. Steal your data, delete your files. They can take over the whole restaurant. Okay, let's step out of our restaurant for a second, because it is so important to understand that this isn't just some clever thought experiment. This is a real thing, and it's happening out there right now. And the really scary part, it's how simple it is. This isn't some crazy, complicated, multi-step hack. It takes just one single, cleverly made request. That one tricky delivery box we talked about, that's all it takes for an attacker to potentially own your entire server. So what makes this so incredibly critical? Well, first off, the attacker needs 0 credentials, nothing. No password, no special access, not even a user account. All they have to do is be able to visit your website. And second, like I said, this is not a what-if scenario. Security researchers have confirmed that this is being used in real attacks, in the wild as we speak. And just to show you how serious this is, it's not some vague threat with a cool name. It has an official designation, a CVE number. And what that means is that it's a verified, card-carrying, serious vulnerability that the entire global cybersecurity community is tracking. All right, I know that's a lot of scary stuff, but now for the most important part. What do we actually do about it? How do you lock down your kitchen? Like, right now. Thankfully, the fix is pretty straightforward. There are 3 key steps you need to take. Step 1, update. Get your dependencies, React and Next.js to the new patched versions. Step 2, run a specific command they've provided to apply the fix. And step 3, listen, this one is absolutely critical. If your site was live and unpatched, you have to assume you were compromised. That means you need to rotate all your secrets, all of them. API keys, tokens, passwords, the whole shebang. And for those of you with Next.js projects, the team made this super simple.
You just have to run this one command right here in your terminal. That's it. It takes care of the whole patching process for you. So we've gone through what this is, why it's so dangerous, and how to fix it. Let's wrap this up with the single most important thing to remember. And this message comes straight from the security experts who found this. Look, the point isn't to make you panic. It's to get you to act. Yes, the vulnerability is bad, really bad, but the fix is out there and it's easy to apply. The keyword here is urgency. You need to patch now. So this leaves us with one final thought, right? Yeah, patching your site for React2Shell is priority number one. But this whole thing is also a huge reminder about security in the JavaScript world. See, because of how dynamic JavaScript is, these prototype pollution bugs, they're not new. They keep popping up. So the real challenge isn't just squashing this one bug. It's about developing a security mindset where you're always on the lookout for that next tricky delivery box.